Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Thanks for checking us out again. Two Homos, 100 Thoughts. It's Armando.
And it's Raciel.
So today we are going to be recapping The Real Housewives of New Jersey again. We're going to do episode 2 and episode 3. We're going to try to do like a 2-in-1 because we're kind of a little far behind with these episodes. And our goal was to catch up and, for what's airing so we can do it as it airs and kind of just, maybe upload it the day after or 2 days after. So this is going to be kind of our way of catching up a bit quicker.
Yes, and these episodes are fast-paced, so it's okay. We'll get to the point. So, like, if there's anything you think we're missing, just leave a comment, tell us what we're leaving out. But yeah, you want to get straight into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so we're starting episode 2, and it's where Teresa and Jackie, they're sitting down with Margaret, and, it leaves off to where they got in an argument the week before, and Teresa walks out calling her a cunt because she used an analogy, but I don't think Teresa knows what analogy means about Gia using coke in the bathroom. What do you think about Jackie using that analogy? Do you think that's smart of her?
No, definitely not. Jackie is a smart girl, and Jackie is a smart girl. She's a lawyer, so she should know who knows analogies and who doesn't in the room. And the way she used it was in a very if you're gonna talk like that, make sure you're talking like that to, like a Harvard professor or like someone educated in a highly way. Speaking like that to Teresa Giudice is gonna get you chin checked, like that might get you punished. Is she underage? Regardless.
No, she's not, but still, like, I know people say, oh, she's free game because she's on the show, but she's not on the show. She's not even in front of the camera. The only time she is and when she's on FaceTime with her mom. And not gonna lie, she is one of the like house kids that I do like, that kind of like is like, she's been through so much. Like her parents have been to jail, her dad has been deported. Like, she's one of the good ones out there.
Right. And she's a good voice of reason on the show. Like she brings something to the show, to the table, and we watch them grow up. So obviously we don't as viewers, we don't want to hear like kids and coke in the same sentence.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that was a bad one, especially to Teresa, like, or to anybody, like anybody talking about anybody's kids. Like, why would you use that? Like, I don't know. To me, if your husband wasn't cheating on you, okay, say he's not cheating on me and move on. Like, she's the one making it a bigger issue. She could have just shut it down saying that's not true. Boom, that story would have been done. But girl, you're dragging it. I love when Teresa leaves, like when she leaves, like, and she gets to her house after going to Margaret. So first thing she does is calls Melissa. She's like, guess what your friend said? Like, she calls her right away. And that's something I would do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, want to hear what your friend said? And she was like saying how she's gonna slice and dice her with her tongue on this vacation, and that Jackie's in Margaret's living room crying, saying, I never want to be around this woman again. Like, well, too bad, she's your coworker. You gotta hang out with her. Gotta bring it in.
Exactly. Yeah, so then there's that. And I was honestly a little happy that like Teresa's first phone call was Melissa. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, in a way, I know what she was doing. She was so ready to like spew like toxic onto Melissa and be like, this is your friend, like, come.
Yes, exactly.
At the same time, like, I'm happy it was that and not like, let me call Jennifer, let me call Dolores, let me call everyone and make sure they're with me and not with her. But I'm pretty sure she did that from the car. You know what I mean? Like, it probably just didn't air. Like, she probably did it in the car. Like, Melissa was just a conversation that they recorded.
Oh, yeah. She just wanted to tell Melissa, be like, oh, like, this is what your friend said. Like, really, this is, and the fact that Melissa didn't really care, the fact that it was her niece and Gia is Joe's goddaughter, I don't know. I would have been more pissed. Because she even doubted it, that she said something. But like I said, even she used it as an analogy. It's a bad one.
Right, it is a bad one for sure.
But then, like, for some reason, they like cut the scene and they go to Jennifer, like, of course, going to her mom's house, and on how her mom is like talking about how her dad is super mean to her when no one's looking and blah blah. Do you believe that? Because I mean, they were in an arranged marriage, so obviously they don't really love each other. They were kind of just put together and boom, and they got married.
Right, and now that they're old, they kind of want to rearrange themselves out of each other's lives, but I don't know, for some reason, the sit down, because in episode 2, there was also a sit down between Dolores and her mom. And now that sit down, like, even though it was just them two, it caught my attention so much more. You know what I mean? Like, like, sorry to jump from like Jennifer to Dolores, but
You just don't care. You don't care about Jennifer.
I really don't. I just don't care for Jennifer. She needs to be serving tables at
You're like, fast
Vanderpump
forward.
Rules, you know? Like Dolores's mom kind of reveals how like her dad was a sheriff, but they lived in separate homes, but they were still married. But you know, like they made it work like that, and that gives me so like it clicks in my head why Dolores kind of bounces between Frank and David like that, and you know, like how she can consider dating David, how she considers dating David, but she doesn't live with him. She lives with Frank, and it gives me insight on that, on like how it's okay in her mind living what she's lived through with her parents, you know.
No, I guess when you put it that way, that does make sense. Because in my head, I just think she's in love with Frank. You know what I mean? I think her and Frank, I think they should be together. I feel like, yeah, he cheated on her, but that was such a long time ago. So I'm Team Frank all the way. You know what I mean? Even though he did fuck up. But I just feel like the way David is being with her isn't doing it for me. Like, he should have committed to her a long time ago. He doesn't even show up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he doesn't show up just rubs me the wrong way. And I think she's way too hot to deal with something like that.
She really
I'm sure she can get any hot guy, because you even see the guys that Teresa's getting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's been getting some, like, for Jersey guys, they're pretty cute.
But you think when the guys don't show up, you think they have something to hide?
No, they just don't want to be on TV, which I don't get, because I would love to be on TV. Oh, did you notice when Teresa was packing and on the phone with Jackie? Did you notice how there's all these pictures of herself around her room? I don't know why I noticed that, but I love that.
In Teresa's room?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of random portraits of just her around her room, like not
I
even like
really
with
did
her.
not notice that.
So so I put it on Twitter and I had to go back and rewatch it. I'm like, oh my god, she does have all these pictures of herself around her room, which I'm kind of jealous of. Maybe I should start doing that. Was he getting even? She even woke up the next day even madder. Just the fact that Jackie wasn't there. She's like, oh, but you know, I agree. I know where she's coming from, because I'll be like that. Like, I'll go to sleep pissed, and if I haven't let it off my chest yet, I'll wake up even more pissed. I'm like, oh, where is this person? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as they get there, like, do you notice how Melissa's like running around trying to look for the best room? Like, girl, like, you're not Ramona or Sonia. Like, you're not gonna make a good TV moment by like running around. Because have you seen, like, I know you say you don't watch New York, but like every time they go on vacation, it's a moment when they like go look for their rooms, and all the girls get pissed off. But here, the girls don't care because they have sucky vacations anyway. They're used to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to getting the shitty rooms. Look at you. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't, honestly. I don't. But I know that Melissa was like beating a dead horse, because all of the rooms in that house looked really nice to me. Like, I would not mind sleeping in any one of those rooms. But of course, she needed the patio. She needed the big mirror, as Jennifer said. And
Melissa's getting ready in the bathroom, and then Jackie starts talking about how Teresa's realtor was telling her how Joe owes her husband money, and then saying how he's like taking credit for flipping houses and all this stuff as she's in the bathroom right there. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I know you don't care for Jennifer.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like that girl, what's the realtor, Michelle is her name, I would say. I feel like Michelle just wants to make it on Housewives. She looks like a housewife. She's pretty, and I mean, I think
she's going
a little sneak peek where Joe's gonna confront the husband on there also. But I'm kind of excited to see that, and I feel like she kind of just did that to get on Housewives. Like that's what they do. They kind of show up on the scene, stir a little drama, get the producers looking at them, and I mean, I don't think she did that well, considering they didn't air her scene until like they did it as a flashback. When they flashed back your ass, you know, you didn't make the cut, you know?
Yeah, she didn't even make it to the trip. And I'm still wondering how Margaret's creative director, friend, assistant made it to the trip. I'm still not seeing it.
You know what? Someone needs an assistant, you know? It's like someone needs...
Margaret?
Well, for all of them, if you kind of pay attention, like that girl's always is carrying the basket with the drinks. She's always carrying the towels. Like, you expect Teresa to do that? Like, no, you got to bring someone to do that. And I don't think Margaret wants to do it this time around. So,
and then they cut to like a scene with Jackie, and then Jackie's like crying, like, "Oh, this lady's on a vacation with all my friends, and I'm not there." Like, but you could have gone. Like, you just chose not to go. And I think she forgot that it's Teresa's show. You know what I mean? That she's saying, "Oh, that she's on a group with my friends." Like, no, you're missing out on Teresa's trip with her friends.
When she said that, like when she said with all my friends, I was like, I don't know how anyone's gonna feel about that, because these people are not your friends, girl. They're your co-workers, and most of
They're
them
your
are
coworker.
starting to act like it. Because I mean, if you look at it, like Dolores and Jennifer, I feel like they're ready to just get rid of her. You know, like these people are not your friends. Like
They're not your friends.
If Teresa would have stayed home for her to come, I feel like a lot of people would have skipped this episode, like us included.
Called Teresa. They go to dinner, and Teresa keeps talking about Jackie, and she's still not taking any accountability. And she even starts blaming the girls, like, "Oh, well, you guys shouldn't have let me drink." Like, okay, so it's everyone's fault that she said that, but hers. But you know, just like me, someone has to take accountability for my actions.
Exactly, and it's not gonna be us, okay?
Okay.
Like, well, Jennifer, why did you give me that
Really
shot?
quick question about Jennifer. Do you think this sounds really bad? Do you think her brother's wife is mail order?
Okay, say that one more time.
Do you think her brother's wife is mail order? Like a mail order bride?
What's a mail order?
Like pretty much like you just find anyone from another country looking to marry someone for papers.
I never thought of it that way, but quite possibly 80% chance, probably yes, honestly.
Right. And I don't know. I don't see. I remember Margaret made a joke about it, and Jennifer got so offended by it. But I feel like it's a possibility.
Okay.
And then what to call? Oh no! Did you even see how Gia was on the phone with her mom and even told her mom about Jackie? Like, okay, whatever. She said that, but you also said this. Like, you apologized to her, and she's like, okay, you're right. You know, and then she goes to the table and totally forgets everything Gia said. You know what I mean? She's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna apologize to her. I'm not gonna call her, which I love. But at the same time, they didn't need to bring them together in group scenes because you know, at the end of the day, I just want to watch some drama. I'm tired of the he said, she said, and I'm talking about it.
I would so be Margaret at that table though when she's like was telling Teresa, so when are you gonna call Jackie? And then Teresa was like, I'm not, I'm never gonna call her. And she was like, well, Gia said you should. I was like living, I'm like, why is that me? Like just like picking at her at that point.
The reason why I want Jackie to stay around is because she is like, she's not afraid to like approach Teresa about it. You know what I mean? Because then even she would like tell Margaret, like, well, like she's done this to you, she's done this to someone else, which is true, I guess, like because you know how it turned out to be her telling Danielle to pull Margaret's hair. And like you said, Margaret, she could have kept the drama going and pretended that they were mad at each other and they could have like talked it out this season, but for some reason these girls aren't really stepping up to her and they're all kissing her ass.
I'm telling you, yes. Like I said in the last episode, and I stand by it. Like I really hope Jackie does not apologize for the analogy. Like, I mean, it was wrong for her to have said that, but Evan needs to get an apology first or at the same time. That's how I look at it. Because, alrighty, you guys. So that pretty much wraps up the second episode. We're gonna move on to episode 3. If we missed anything, we do apologize. New Jersey, like we might not know.
Yeah, if you're like Snooki or you're Teresa getting out of jail, other than that, like you really want to picture Melissa at the mailbox? No.
That's always been a big rumor, though. Now that you bring up the name Snooki, you think she belongs on Housewives of New Jersey?
I would love to see that, but I don't think she would do it just because she's not a catty person. Like, I feel like she would bring something to it. Like, I feel like she would be a breath of fresh air, but at the same time, I feel like she would be able to stick up for herself. And not gonna lie, she has money. So I feel like, and she likes to get drunk, and she does call shit out, and she has no filters. So I feel like she has all the right elements, but she does have a little more self awareness.
She do. Like, I feel like she would never do it because, as you said, like, I don't think she could handle that environment. And two, I think contractually, I think she's like exclusive with like MTV because I know like that she was part of that family vacation thing, and I'm pretty sure she has like a certain amount of years before she could film another show on another network. So I know Sam is in Jersey. They should really get in contact with Sammy. She would be a good one. And she's not on Jersey Shore. Hasn't been on Jersey Shore.
That's true. She can hold her own, and I think she can totally be able to handle the cattiness on that. I feel like she would be a good fit.
And we hit up Sammy Giancola. She ain't doing nothing.
She's really not. Like, hit her up. Bravo, you hear this? Like, hit her up. It's a brief talk. Again, they're still talking about Jackie.
Yeah,
you know,
they spent
she's just a topic conversation
about Jackie, right? And then Teresa mentions that she did apologize to Jackie on the couch, which I'll ask you, do you think that's a valid apology that Teresa gave?
No. No, all it is like, okay, sorry, yeah, moving on. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a real apology. She's like but I just wish she saw what Jackie meant by like why you said it was wrong, but she just wasn't getting it, you know. But at the same time, I like that there's a little drama keeping it pushing forward. I hope it doesn't end soon, and I hope they keep filming with each other just because that's what the show's about. I don't like when people stop filming because of a fight. That's the worst. Like, why, you know?
When they go on the boat and you know that scene that like Teresa's telling Joe like Melissa got the guy at the restaurant's phone number, and I'm dying to see that ever since like I saw the
That was
and it turned out to be such a bad joke, honestly.
like, don't keep me hanging on for a prank. You know what I mean? Like, they made it seem like someone was going to be having issues, and they made it seem like it was going to be a whole storyline, you know? And then the whole time it turns out to be a fucking joke. I'm like, come on, like, really? Like, that's the best Melissa can do, is have us clinging on for a joke, you know? But did you notice how Teresa was hanging on to the joke as long as she could? I'm like, low-key, she wants her brother to blow up at Melissa. She was hanging on every moment she could onto that joke. Until she finally said, "Oh, just kidding." Like, I know damn well she didn't want to say "just kidding." I know she wanted like.
She gave a little too many details. Like, I feel like it's supposed to be like a 30-second thing, like a haha, like we're joking on you, and it turned out to be like a 20-minute conversation. Like, and then they walked off together, and she even had Joe Gorga talking Italian. Like, that's how
for real. Oh like, my god, he was.
When someone starts talking their native language, it's like they're heated. Like, just
no, they were heated. He was heated. Like, I can't like, and that's the thing. She came up with those details so quick. Like, she's been waiting to tell this story to him.
You think she's a pathological liar? The way it naturally just spewed out of her, like.
Without a stutter, she just kept going and going. If I was Melissa, I'd be looking at her like, "Damn, bitch! Like,
have you noticed when Teresa's arguing, defending herself, she stutters? Like, she kind of like stutters the line. It's like, it's just being delivered so perfect. Like, it's funny.
No, yes, exactly. But like you said, like, this story rolled off her tongue like perfectly. Like, she was just going. She was saying the details. Like, he texted, they've been texting. Like, they did this, and I'm just like, how no? And I was just annoyed that it was a prank, because since the trailer came out, they made it seem like there was going to be something going on, and even with the trailers coming out, and then the whole time it turns out to be a joke. It's like, come on, like, you can do better, Melissa. You can do better to cling us onto your little story.
Like how Joe Gorga, how he went back to the guys on his little guy night, and then he like basically told them, like joked to them, and then of course I'm pretty sure production like just edited the crap out of that.
That's when Margaret's husband started saying that wasn't the first time he heard that, and not even from Teresa, that he heard it from someone else.
At Margaret's house, when he was like, Margaret has like 50 girls in and out of the house. I've heard this before from them. So do you think Teresa asked Margaret? You think Margaret is Teresa's source? Like,
no.
No.
It was like Teresa saying like, "Oh, this is what I heard. This is what I heard." At first you're like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, she's just trying to like put some drama in it, you know, she's just doing her job. But then when the husband says it's someone that you don't even expect to say it, it makes you think like, damn, like, could it be true? Like, is that why she got so defensive? Like, yeah, what's his job? He's like a broker. Like, okay, if they found out he was cheating, how's that really gonna affect his career? It's probably not.
Right.
Like, I don't know why she's tripping so hard about it.
Melissa and Marge go outside to call Jackie, and Jackie's kind of just like, I need Teresa to call Evan and apologize to him.
Yes.
And that's kind of like where they talk to her, and it seems like they aggravated Jackie because it seems like Marge and Melissa were making it seem like they were more on Teresa's side in that phone call where they're like, well, eventually you're gonna have to apologize for the analogy. And that's when Jackie's like, no. She basically wants Teresa to call Evan and apologize, which Teresa doesn't even want to apologize to her to begin
with. Right. So I'm like, I doubt she's ever going to call Evan and apologize. You know what I mean? And that's when they brought it up at the dinner table, and Teresa just stormed out the dinner table. She was like, "But yeah, like, no, I'm not listening to this." And I love a moment like that because, you know, she felt attacked, you know, and that's when Dolores is like, "Why are you coming for me?" Saying, she's like, "Oh, you guys," and she's like telling everyone to get out of the room.
Right.
Because she doesn't want to be held accountable.
No, Jennifer, she stood her ground more. It made me like her this episode because she kind of like, stood her own, and she wasn't running around saying a bunch of nonsense like in previous seasons. Like she's been staying quiet a lot, and when she speaks up, it's kind of like, like it's not nonsense like before.
Right, she's calmed down a little in this season. Teresa, she like got mad, stormed out, and then like when Melissa tried to come in, she's like, "Get out, get out!" She's like, "Get out!"
Like barks at Melissa real quick, but everyone comes and she's like enjoying it.
And then like a few minutes later, they were all outside making some fucking s'mores.
Yeah.
And then at that, I think that was like the end of the episode, right? They were like,
yeah, that was pretty much the end of the episode. Like one thing that I'm excited to see is the whole like drama that this Michelle girl is gonna bring to the season. Like I want to see like where that ends, and I don't want it all to like end too quickly. Like I need to see
Me too.
if she confronts the husband, and I need full closure to that. I don't
like, okay, guys, so that's a wrap on episodes 2 and 3. Sorry, they were very brief and quick. We're just trying to get it rolling. So hopefully by episode 4, we'll be caught up. And also starting next week, we'll start doing recaps on, my personal favorites, the Atlanta Housewives. So
yeah.
Comment below, like and subscribe, show us some love, let us know what you want to see from us, what you want to hear, and eventually we want to hear other people's opinions as well.